So the Prosperity Investment Group, man, was really inspired by Rick Ross. 2016 November, he dropped this video called Buy Back the Block. Totally inspired, super motivated me, because I believe we're always looking for a reflection, something that can motivate you, something that validates what you're thinking about so you can do your thing. And so that totally did it. A year later, we bought our first property, because I believe participating in our own economics is absolutely the solution versus waiting for somebody to fix a problem, right? So these houses been abandoned for eons, right? And nobody's coming to save you per se. So one thing about entrepreneurs we are problem solvers. We don't sit back and complain. We bring something to the marketplace that we feel that we are missing. Okay? And so we bought our first property a year later, around November 2017. It was a duplex. We was converting it back to a single family home. However, we did not fix it. Held the property for about 5 months and sold it for a nice profit for not having to do anything besides $100 to put the windows back in upstairs, and about $300 to clean out the backyard, okay? Now I learned something very important from that deal. What I learned from that deal was to trust my gut, trust my instinct, because I knew that that was a good deal, but my own mentor and other real estate investors told me that I paid too much for the deal. It was like $65,000. But a year later, in 2018, them same kind of deals start listing at 125, so the price doubled. It went from 65 to 125, right? And then in the slow season, the fall and winter, those prices come down to 99,000, which is still almost 40,000 more than what we actually paid for the property, okay? And so I learned to follow my gut. Now I want to say this about real estate, because I love the rehab process, because we are literally helping bring the value of the neighborhood up. That is very important. You can get tax abatements, which means the local government won't tax you on a transaction, because you're helping bring the value and you're relieving the city of the burden. These eyesores, these horrible looking properties, you're actually starting to make them more attractive. So as a deal, they give you a tax abatement. And you start to develop relationships, and this is very important. So we went from one deal, sold that deal early 2018, and immediately bought 2 properties in the historical district, and now we have 2 properties that are fix and flips as well. So now we're currently sitting on 4 properties as of date. And so the Prosperity Investment Group is just looking for equity. And we're helping people. Let me back up a little bit too, because you're helping, not only are you helping bring the value of the neighborhood up, if you start to go for more distressed homes, people who may be in pre-foreclosed status, they may have to file bankruptcy, you can stop them from filing bankruptcy. They lose, you buy their house, but you solve their problem by them taking care of the cash. For some reason, obviously they can't pay the mortgage on it anymore. So if you can figure out how to put a deal together to take over that mortgage or get them out of it, and you make a profit when you sell, and you stop them from going through the process and save their credit, you save the bank a headache from taking the loss and having to hire a legal team and all of that stuff, because the bank don't want the property back and all that kind of stuff. It is absolutely a win-win-win situation for everyone, and you have to realize that you're helping people. And that's what I love about the Prosperity Investment Group, which is, again, it's a private LLC that we created. We've been fortunate enough to team up. I love the word partnership. That's a pet peeve of mine, and you will see that on the website. So partnership is imperative, because no matter what you do, there's always going to be somebody on the other side of the transaction to sell you what you want. Even if, sell you what you need. Even if you are an entrepreneur, you still got to get the raw goods of something from someone else. Somebody has to print it, somebody has to make it, etc. So partnership is very important. And we were able to partner with people like the Baldwin Estate, which is a private family who owns land in the Bahamas, and we're building a private retreat where people can come to the Bahamas and relax and be romantic and get on this getaway and whatnot. So we've teamed up with private individuals and where we can partner and we both can grow and expand. Also teamed up with people like Baby Love Sweetery, which is a private, basically a vegan bakery out of her home as of right now in Los Angeles that's doing really well and whatnot. So again, we're looking for what Beyonce said, pay me in equity. We're looking for great deals that have equity inside of them where it's a win-win situation for everybody and whatnot. In fact, with the Prosperity Investment Group and the Buy Back the Block campaign, this building that I'm in right now was one of the buildings that I showed, because immediately when they came out with that video, I started showing all the economic opportunity in my immediate neighborhood and started showing people the empty storefronts, and this is one of the empty storefronts, okay? It's now a vegan restaurant and a bookstore, all right? Because the publisher actually published books here and whatnot, all right? So the Family Wealth Club, man, wow, a private membership, totally inspired by studying wealth and something called a single family office. Very important to understand that. This is for the ultra wealthy, 100 million and up. From what I understand in studying, there's people that's less than 100 million that's in this type of setup, but generally this is for the ultra wealthy. So they set up this business structure called a SFO, single family office, and they basically say it's where they hire a financial officer to take a 360-degree approach to their finances. So that's the college education, that's the life insurance policy, that's the dental policy, that's what you're investing in, that's the tax structure, help you, save on taxes, that's real estate investing, that's every single thing, tax write-offs, that's every single thing that has to do with finances. They're taking their approach. And this is what you got to understand, because the more money you get, the more you lose. So if you got $100 million and your accountant makes an honest 1% mistake, where you could have saved you 1%, you just lost $1 million. So it becomes very important at a certain stage that you have to pay attention to your money. And that stage is really now, because 1% is 1%. So even if you got what we would call $100 and you make a 1% mistake, I just lost $1, that dollar don't mean nothing. But that's the same thing, that's the same equivalent of you got $100 million and you lost $1 million. You see what I'm saying? It's the same thing. So we may not care about $1, but that's a problem, because it's still a 1% mistake. 1% is 1%, it don't matter the number, okay? And so the Family Wealth Club is for us to come together and have some privacy and have some, is this a word, exclusivity amongst ourselves where we can increase deal flow. And so I participate as a real estate investor in going to real estate investment meetups. And one of the places I went to totally blew my mind. It was a wholesale type of thing. It was wholesale deals only. These deals are not necessarily listed in the public. And if you have a deal, you have to submit your deal to the group organizer like 30 minutes before, the meeting starts. And then when your name and your PowerPoint comes up, you got 3 minutes to come and pitch your deal. Hey, this is my deal. I got 1,500 square feet, 3 bedrooms. I'm only asking $20,000 for it. And the houses around here are selling for 50. Give me a call. And it was just phenomenal to see this type of thing, because it's like 80-something people all in this room, and we all there on one mission, to grow our finances. So at the end, it was really important and valuable, because it was like, hey, where's such and such? How many houses did you flip this year? Like, hey man, I flipped 55 houses this year. It's like, hey, y'all want to talk to him about flipping everybody? Start mingling and networking, and it was just a great environment to be in. So I've always been talking about, hey, we need to have something for ourselves where we can have a networking opportunity. So within the Family Wealth Club, if you're an entrepreneur, you have ideas, you have something, you got 2 to 3 minutes to come on and say, hey, here's my deal, here's my website, I got this sale going on this month, and bam, so everybody can start taking note and empowering each other and circulating money within each other. That has to be done, because the wealthy with the single family office, they do this. They go to deal summits with each other where they look at major real estate investment opportunities, franchise opportunities with McDonald's and so forth, and they're paying like $299 a month or $5,000 a year to participate in this one single family office structure that I study, which is nothing to them, but they understand the power of networking. $5,000 a year to be in a company with people who got 100 million, $1 billion even inside of these networks that's talking about deal flow and structures of deals. So it's phenomenal. So you have the opportunity to pitch your deal, a real life scenario. A couple weeks ago, well, it was not even a week ago, I get an email from my lender, and my lender says, hey, I got an awesome opportunity in Indianapolis for you, because I know you're looking in this area to invest in. And before I even send this deal to our 4,000 other investors, I'm gonna give you a shot, which is important because we're gonna talk about building relationships, right? This is very important. I was just really honored and just flattered that you give me a shot at it. And she said, hey, listen, the deal is currently can list at 289, drop it down to 280, which is stupid conservative, and you still walk away with a $90,000 profit margin, okay? But you need to bring $15,000 to the closing table to make this deal happen, okay? And so the total loan, they was gonna put like 155 in it, I'm gonna put 15 in it, that's 170. We're gonna list it for modest 280 and make 90K off of it. We just gotta bring 15,000 to the closing table to get in the deal. So I'm all equity right now. So when Beyonce say pay me in equity, I'm all equity right now, meaning no cash, but all my money is literally invested in the deal. So I'm equity rich waiting for these projects to mature, but I'm cash poor at the time. So I need to be able to get on the phone and call up family members to say, hey, here's an opportunity right now, need 15,000, right? And we should be able to jump on this deal because it's a $90,000 profit spread. Now, also inside of the Family Wealth Club is learning basic deal structure and basic money math. Very important because people suffer from math. People hate math, which I got this thing, if you hate math, you hate money, right? And so, and that's not to say that everybody that got money know math, but it's a lot of people who get money that go broke too because they don't understand money. And then again, there's a lot of people who don't have money that don't like math, all right? And so, in this particular deal, which is a real life deal, that 15,000, how do you determine what your percentage of equity would be in the deal if you had that 15,000? So I'm gonna throw these numbers out just to show you, but the property said it's gonna list for 280,000. The lender has 155,000. You're coming with 15. Going to, when we sell it at 80, we're gonna profit 90,000. And you put up that 15. What is your percentage of the deal? Out of those numbers, how do you figure out what's what? And a lot of people struggle with that. And we're going to help people understand how to properly analyze the deal, which is very important. Because if you don't know how to do that, you're not gonna make money, okay? And so that's going to be there. Again, the networking opportunity is going to be there, along with also bringing in certified professionals, such as a real estate attorney for those that may be interested in real estate, who can come in and talk about how to set up the structure of something called a 1031 exchange. That's when you set up this entity with a third party, a 1031 exchange, basically an escrow account. Then you buy a property, and then when you sell that property, right, let's just say hypothetically you make $100,000 off this deal. And let's just say you have to pay 37% on the taxes. So you got to pay $37,000 on this deal, hypothetically, $37,000. Versus you paying Uncle Sam that $37,000, you now have like 180 days to hurry up and find a similar deal. and you're going to defer that tax, which simply means you're going to put that tax off to a future date, and that's when you decide to cash out. So now instead of paying that $37,000, right, you now can use that 37 to go into a bigger deal, hopefully, right? And so again, now you do it again, you sell that deal, you do another 1031 exchange, and now you put in the tax off. It's not that you're not going to ever pay the tax. When you decide to cash out on the capital gains, the tax is due. But the beauty about the 1031 exchange is it is setting us up to create generational wealth. They say, we're not going to tax you as long as you keep building your portfolio. Because one thing about the real estate aspect is it keeps allowing you to build value and help the economy. Very important to understand, whether it's residential or whether it's commercial, you're helping the economy, okay? And so you can defer that tax, put it off to a future date until you decide to cash out. But if you don't, now you can picture like the Trump, and you gotta respect the hustle of Trump. You gotta respect that his father said, listen, I'm gonna give all my children and grandchildren $1 million in a trust account, okay? And then they learn this great deal of real estate and utilize these 1031 tax exchanges where they don't have to pay no taxes, and put them off and hurry up and roll them in other deals, build that portfolio up, and then bring your son Don Jr. in, bring your other son Eric in, bring your daughter Ivanka in, and then they get to come in and participate in the great American dream of building wealth. That's what the Family Wealth Club is really all about. So you're gonna have an opportunity to network, you're gonna meet professionals in their respective craft, okay, and then you're going to learn deal flow, and then you're going to get first dibs at deals like this deal that came on my desk to give you an opportunity to really make it happen. And again, most important, people get to support you in what you're doing. That's very important for me. Partnership, again, is absolutely critical. So with the Family Wealth Club, our first official webinar is December the 19th. Okay, and it's only 37 bucks a month. The wealthy are paying $299 a month for $5,000 a year. Only 37 bucks a month, and you have to get in before January, because when 2019 comes, January comes, you will have to pay the one-time $100 processing fee. But as of right now, that fee is waived as an early bird special. And come in, man, register your family. My son is in it, sons will be in it, the other two will be in it. But come in and like literally start setting yourself up and challenge yourself to create wealth. As soon as you come in, you got to sign the Millionaire's Pledge. You got to get serious about your finances and stop shying away from this. We're going to be working with certified credit consultants to help you get back on track to maximize, because using other people's money is powerful, powerful. And so you see this video, you like it, hey, join the Family Wealth Club, because that's what it's all about, creating family wealth for future generations.